Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have James Moran here from Moran's Pub in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin. James, thanks for jumping on with me today.
Hey, no problem, Stacey. Glad to be here.
I'm going to ask you 6 questions about Moran's Pub. You've got some rich history and really neat stories. So if you don't mind, can we get started?
Go for it.
All right, here we go. When people ask you what Moran's Pub does, how do you describe your business?
Well, essentially, yeah, we are a pub, but there's a lot more to it than that. We're heavily involved in the community. We organise a lot of leagues, a lot of events. I suppose we don't just, put the switch on and hope people come by. We're always kind of looking for something, working with, other local businesses, artists, everything we can really to just kind of diversify. I mean, it's kind of like your stocks. You don't just want to do that one, focus on that one area. And that's essentially what we do try to do here.
Yeah, that's a really smart point that you make is that businesses need to have different areas that they're focusing on. Because if that one goes south and that's all they're focusing on, then the business goes south, right? So
Yeah. We're known as a soccer pub, but it's that's really just a small part of what we got from leagues, various leagues that we have here in house, some traveling. We have a big focus on cocktails, and I know we're in South Milwaukee. There's not a lot of other cocktail places to go, but we're doing pretty good. We don't.
awesome. Very good. So what were your plans when you started your business and how have they changed? I know you mentioned before I pressed record that your parents actually started it. Can you kind of talk about like how everything's changed?
Yeah. So my parents, my stepmom and my dad opened the pub in 1995, and my stepmom was a nurse with a focus on infection control. My dad was a refrigeration manager for a large chain of supermarkets. So they had their full-time jobs,
Mhm.
and this was part-time hustle, side hustle. Kind of help them out with retirement, have some fun. Hang out with the friends, play pool leagues, dart leagues. So it was a Whereas I suppose with me, this has become my full-time job now after switching from my engineering background. They
Mhm.
wanted to sell the pub. As it kind of the clientele gotten older, my parents, they weren't really advertising. So things have changed over those 20 years. And I really wanted to try and take it back to where it was a big focus for the community and a popular spot. And that's essentially since I came on in 2015. It's where we are. Obviously that's 8 years now, kind of. Yeah, actually June will be 8 years since I came on. So it's changed completely, remodeling and all sorts of things. So it's definitely in a good spot now.
Love it. Love it. And in those first 2 questions that I asked you, you said the word community. And so that actually leads me into my third question. What is the biggest way you impact the community? It seems really important to you.
Um, well, we work with a lot of different local groups in town. Actually, this past weekend, I was the parade marshal for South Milwaukee Little League. So that was
Oh, fun.
pretty cool. I got to walk at the front of the parade, and they gave me a sign with my name on it. Not that anybody really knew who I was, but that's all right. It was good. We've worked with that group. We've held fundraisers. Typically, and during March, we have many events during. We actually call it St Patrick's Days instead of St Patrick's
Oh,
Day.
cool.
So we have about 10 to 12 different events that we do throughout the month, and we sell a lot of really cool merchandise that is pretty much designed by a friend of mine called Lauren Marvell. She's a local artist from the south
Oh,
side, and she's doing a lot of really cool stuff, helping different communities with her artwork. But she does a lot of stuff with us. She makes all the merchandise, and she does really cool stuff. So all the profits from the merchandise goes towards a charity. And last year it was Little League. This
oh,
year it's South Milwaukee Police Department. They were raising money for it to start their canine unit. So we've raised, I believe it's $1,000 that we're going to be donating here pretty soon to the
wow.
department to help out with that. So that was this year's merchandise kind of helped with towards the canine unit. So I mean, those are just a couple of things there, but community groups come in and we let them use our backspace. We have a room at the end of the pub there that we let people use for meetings, like community groups for free. We also rent it
Awesome.
out for parties and such and gatherings, but for community groups, there's no charge there. Um, and then also, I mean, just kind of connecting with different businesses and trying to find ways where we can collaborate.
Yeah.
Over St. Patrick's Day, we did team up with As I look out my window, the coffee shop across the street is Avenue Coffee House.
Okay.
Um, Sarah, she also owns Supernova Donuts and Coffee in the Third Street Market, the old Grand Avenue Mall. So
Okay.
we
Yeah.
were an event. She's great friends with Lauren and myself, and she makes all these really cool donuts. We had a Harry Potter pop up last year, and she was making all these Harry Potter themed donuts.
Oh my gosh.
Then we
So
were
fun.
making up different. We were all, well, bringing in different beers to kind of complement those. So again, working with Lauren, the illustrator, working with Sarah from Avenue Coffee, and again also the donut place downtown. And then on St. Patrick's Day, we did have the Better Together Cafe. That's a newer business in town. They took over the old Dairy Queen that was lying there, kind of abandoned for a number of years, and they've really, it looks great now. They've renovated it, and
Awesome.
they also have a trailer, so they do go around town. So they're very popular spot. But they came out on St. Patrick's Day because they do their Shamrock Shakes. So they're known for these amazing ice creams and shakes that they kind of put together. So they came out and they had their trailer outside on St. Patrick's Day. And then
Wow.
people could come inside if they wanted to get a little bit of Irish whiskey in that fantastic shake. So that was another one. And then also some friends that we've been working with for a while. It's the Rose Mob Grill food truck.
Okay.
Um, we've been working with those guys, the Rosales family, for quite some time. I think this is probably that fourth St. Patrick's Day with those guys. And they just came here on Cinco de Mayo and were working with us, and we promoted that together. There's probably a few others I'm forgetting about. But actually, I got a really cool one right now. So South Milwaukee, it's one of those old cities that used to have a lot of factories, such as the
Yeah.
Bucyrus, Erie. They were developing cranes, not cranes, I should say, mining equipment. So they built the equipment for the Panama Canal.
Wow.
In
Yeah.
the 1800s. So they have a rich history in town here. So we're basically in fact that's another person now, Ernie from Bucyrus Club. It's a new business, so they took over an old. In fact, sorry, Stacie, I'm kind of rambling on a little bit
I
here.
love it. No, you're doing great. And there's
Okay.
what you're saying is there's just so many people that you're impacting and working with in collaboration with that.
Yeah. So we've got an art event coming up on, I believe it's Friday the 19th of May, and we're working with, it's myself and a bunch of different businesses working together to basically try and beautify the streets by raising money through ticket sales for a wine event, and then also through local businesses that would like to support it, to put murals on the streets and really make
Oh,
this
wow.
street look good and give people another reason to want to come here. Aside from Milwaukee, I mean, Milwaukee Avenue that I'm on, there's a lot of abandoned buildings, so it's really trying to get people to come here and start a business, and trying to look for entrepreneurs. And myself and again some of the other business owners are collaborating on that, and that's been about 5 or 6 months we've been working on that now. So that's something that we're really looking forward to. I think we've raised about 6,000 from the local businesses, and we've sold
Wow.
60 tickets at the moment, and we've still got another week to go. So the goal was 10,000 for this year, and to get up a mural on somebody's building on this street, and then over the next 3 to 5 years, again working together to try to create like a mural tour or a scavenger hunt for the mural tours that you see. There are some already in Milwaukee and around the country. So just another project and another way that not just myself but the community here in South Milwaukee are working together.
That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that happen. And like it's cool that you have that vision. When I think about even on the south side of Milwaukee and Bayview for a while, I've been in the area for 40 plus years now, and that was not the most beautiful area. And it's been revitalized through people like you that create a vision, say this is valuable, beautiful real estate that we need to really make look good again and feel good again. So thank you for revitalizing the community. That's awesome. Love it. So my next question for you, James, is what is one challenge that you have faced in the past 8 years that other business owners could learn from?
I would say patience. Taking over the pub again, I kind of touched on it. My parents, they were actually trying to sell the building for a number of years, and they weren't really in it like they were at the beginning. I mean,
Mm.
after 20 years, it's
It's a
kind
long
of quite
time.
a tiring business. A lot of late nights, early mornings, and it's a
Mm.
lot of work. So they had been again trying to sell it for a while. Customers weren't really coming in. They had their friends that came in, but we weren't really attracting any new customers. And I
Okay.
remember when I first came on, the second Friday night that I did, because I was just part time for the first 5 or 6 months, just really trying to scope it out and see if it was something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
It always go back to engineering, sales, but I really wanted to be in control of my own future, my own destiny, and yeah, just be responsible for my own future. And was an opportunity for me to do that. And I wouldn't change a thing now. At first, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to come to South Milwaukee. I was honestly quite reluctant, but I figured I'd give it a go. And I remember one of the first customers coming in, and it was dark. Maybe it was 9 or 10 o'clock, and they said, "I've never seen the old neon sign that we had on the outside of the building. They'd never seen it turned on because they
Oh,
only came out on a weekend, so they'd never seen the pub open really on a Friday or Saturday past maybe 8 or 9 o'clock."
wow.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. So that was kind of it was interesting to hear that from people, and
Hmm.
they were surprised that the pub was open. So it was really kind of developing a business from scratch, even though we had the history of being open for a long time. We
Sure.
didn't have customers coming in. So a lot of it came down again. I say patience. It took a long time. I had to change a few things, and um, how do I put it? Lay down the law a lot.
Yeah.
In South Milwaukee, there's a lot of old bars, and they're run down. A lot of rundown bars,
Mm.
and so unfortunately, there's some undesirable customers that kind of would come in, and it just wasn't the clientele I was looking for. And I remember one time asking a few individuals to leave that had a discussion I just didn't want to hear. I didn't want them that type of crowd in the pub talking about fighting, talking about drugs.
Yeah.
And I asked them to leave. And this was probably early 2016. And as they were leaving, they kind of looked at me, laughed, and says, "You know what? You're kicking us out, and we're the only customers in here." And I looked around, and I couldn't. I agreed. I had to agree with them. Yeah, you're right. But I says it's just not the crowd I'm looking for.
Good for you.
And then about maybe 4 or 5 years later, that guy came back in, and we were absolutely packed. And I looked at him. I gave him one of those, and I said, "Sorry, mate, you're not allowed in here." And he remembered, and he didn't put up a fuss, and he left. I let him finish his drink. But again, just sticking to my guns, and yeah.
Good for
So,
you.
but
You
it's
know, that's really hard. That's really hard. And we've talked about that with some of our clients is sometimes you have to fire your customers, especially if you have a certain value that you want in your business, right? If something's not, if the vibe isn't that what you want, you took the courage to change that. And yeah, that's cool. And the patience of having just a couple customers and then 4 or 5 years having a full
yeah,
bar. That takes time. So awesome. Thanks
yeah,
for sharing
yeah.
that.
It does.
That's really
It
cool.
does. We also we're very much. I mean, all bars are neighborhood bars, but we do have a lot of families coming here, and they bring in their kids. And my daughter works here. She has for probably 4 years now. She's only just turned 20.
Okay.
Um, my sister lives down the street. We got her 3 kids working here.
Oh,
One's just going into high school. One's becoming a senior in high school, and there's maybe a sophomore in high school. And they've been here for about 3 or 4 years. I don't even know if it's legal, but they do a great
it's
job.
family. It is.
The
It's family.
barbecue,
I
the
love it.
barbecue, they do a great job, and they're learning a lot of skills being here. As
Totally.
young as they are. So it's another reason why I want good clientele coming in. My family are here. We have kids here, not just my family, but other families in the area. So we want you know reputable people coming in.
Well, yeah, and if you're playing the soccer games too, which is just part of your business, but if you're playing them, a lot of families don't have that, and they want to feel safe enough to bring their kids in and
Yeah.
share those moments with them, right? So
Oh yeah. But it's great when kids come in. We've had kids from the Kickers come in when their parents, bring a group in and watch a Tottenham game or whoever they support. So it is good. It is really nice.
love it. Well, thank you for that. So I have two more questions for you, James. The next one is, what does the future look like to you into Moran's Pub, and do you have an exit plan?
Um, the future's good. The future's definitely good. Yeah, I mean, I now, I mean, I fast forward years down the road, and I'm I'm honored to be in South Milwaukee now. I get so much support from the community.
Awesome.
And again, when I first had the opportunity to come here, I was kind of, oh, I don't know, I was really dreading it. I didn't want to. And just the support from the people and the community. And
Mhm.
they could, for example, I touch on Little League again. Bob, Tony, Jason, a number of years ago, would contact me and say, "Hey, can we bring our Little League party in here for the end of season? Thank you to the coaches." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, please." So they were, people here just kind of supported me for, no reason in particular, you know. And so now I'm excited because now we are doing well and we can reciprocate and we can give back to the community. It's just
Excellent.
nice, to support the people that supported me from the beginning, and
Absolutely.
and it's
Well,
just
and
it
you
is a
said
process.
though, you said no reason whatsoever. Obviously, there's a reason. For example, you kicking out people that were just not meant to be in there. So there is reason that they're
Sure,
supporting
sure.
you.
And actually that's another thing too is, a lot of people around here say, this is the only place my wife's going to go to, so all these compliments that they're always coming in. So we're definitely doing things right. I mean, our staff are fantastic. We really don't have full-time staff. It's just me. We have a lot of part-time staff, but they're all professionals studying for master's degrees in healthcare. Um, Building supervisors and accountants.
Yeah.
We've had people, actually even now from the Medical College of Wisconsin, they're just doing a little, picking up a shift here or there. So it's a very diverse group of people that we have, and it's fun for them because they might work once a week, they might work twice a month, but it doesn't get old, it doesn't get boring, and
Mhm.
again, just got great staff, very friendly, and again, the patrons are fantastic. Our reviews online are the highest in the area. So
Wow.
there's just
Oh,
so much positivity that I'm really looking forward to the future and seeing what comes next. And just being positive with everything. It's kind of easy at the moment. It's good times.
very good. And you mentioned you have a 19, 20-year-old daughter
Yeah, yeah. Just turned
and
20. Yeah,
she's working there. So who
yeah.
knows?
As far as you mentioned exit strategy. I did have a customer recently say, "When are you going to retire?" And I didn't really know how to answer it. Um, I was in your head, you kind of get to retire in America, when you're 65 or so, or, hopefully sooner if you can. But,
Yeah.
um, and at the moment, I'm enjoying it so much. And I do like to stay active. And again, I'm not one to just, you know, flip the switch and expect people to come in. I got to make my life interesting. That would be so boring if I just, kind of sitting there, kind of waiting for people. It's being creative and working with like-minded individuals. Again, I mentioned Lauren Marvell. She's We have an event on Saturday where we're inviting people in to vote on our upcoming pop-up in October for Halloween.
Okay.
So people are going to get to sample the cocktails we've made for Beetlejuice,
Oh, fun.
the Adams Family, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Those are the three options.
Okay.
And it's kind of events like that get people really excited because it's just different. And I suppose that's what keeps it fresh for me.
Yeah.
Also, the renovations we've done in the pub, when we got closed, when COVID came down, we were closed for 9 weeks, and
Okay.
it just kind of worked out where we were able to do a lot of remodeling, and the pub's totally transformed. As you can see behind me, we've got exposed brick, so a lot of that was hidden for the building's from 1907, so I mean it was hidden for over 100 years, and
Wow.
now
Yeah.
we've exposed it. Finished up the floors. The ceiling in the pub is one of those tin ceilings, so it's very decorative.
Beautiful. Yep.
So working with Southside Johnny, one of our local customers here, he really helped the bunch during that, and fixed up the old tin ceiling as well as working on the brick. So we've kind of restored it to its original, the architecture that was here in 1907.
Yeah.
So it's
So neat.
again, and even now I've still got my kitchen to work on. We're developing new cocktails. With the patio, we've ordered the equipment for. That's going to be here in about 6 weeks. The new door, the siding for the outside and the back. So I don't know this kind of stuff. And again, like yourself, I play soccer for a long time. Now it's pickleball, but I'm very competitive. And I don't know. I want to have the best pub. I want to hire the best staff. I want to have the best customers coming in. I want to hold the
Just
best events.
Beetlejuice.
the best ratings, you know. So it's, I don't know, it's that kind of keeps me motivated and wanting to push forward. You know, maybe there's an opportunity to purchase a building across the street, and maybe there's a different version of Moran's pub taking place over there. You know, maybe
Yeah,
it's easy, not necessarily the sports focus that we have. So, I mean, it's a lot of that stuff. Maybe as I get older, I cut back a little bit, but I still would have to be involved. I'd want to be involved,
sure.
and yeah, just kind of keep it going. It's exciting, and you know, as you can hopefully tell,
Definitely.
I'm passionate about it.
Love it. The future is so bright. So my final question for you, and you kind of touched on it a little bit already, is all subjects open. What inspires you most?
I suppose to be the best I can, to impact the community, to create the best cocktails. I mean, you
Yes.
can go downtown Milwaukee and Bayview and get amazing cocktails, but we got some good ones here in South Milwaukee, and it helps us stand out. It helps us stand out from the other 16 bars that there are in, you know, maybe a 10-block radius. Yeah, just standing out, and you know, and all these things just kind of help us do that. Again, it just providing good customer service and welcoming the people coming in. All of this, you know, it's just what really kind of keeps me going.
Yeah. Yeah, that daily improvement. I love it. So I know I'm inspired and would love to go there. So looking forward to the opportunity. If other people, our viewers, our followers want to come in and have one of those amazing cocktails or really have that experience that Moran's Pub offers, how is the best way for them to get in hold of you or get more information?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, my mobile is the pub number, so you can always
Okay.
text and call on that. That comes straight to me. But well, you know, we like a lot of places. We do social media, so there's Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. It's just Moran's Pub MKE. We have a website as well, which is Moran's Pub. So it's it's updated pretty good. Chris, our website guy, does a good job when I ask him to kind of, you know, do stuff, and he reminds me when it's outdated and old. So
Okay, very good, right? Staying relevant. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, James. Good luck. And you sounds like you have so many great events coming up. So looking forward to hearing about those and following them.
thank you very much. Cheers.
It's my pleasure.
Stay
You
safe.
take care.